Today we'll be going into practical mode fully. In our former class, we talked about your environmental setup, setting up your environment that will be conducive enough to be able to plot. Like I initially told us, AutoCAD is used in different institutions. So that means the setup entails who is using it. So as a cartographer in a survey firm, it must be set in a particular way to enable you do your job. Now, there are two ways to plot. First, you plot with coordinates, just coordinates. And secondly, you can plot with your distance and bearings. For the purpose of this class, I'll be teaching you guys how to plot with distance and bearing. When we look to the right side of the screen, you see an image. This is what we'll be doing today. Now, when you want to plot, for more clarity, if you're plotting with a distance and bearing, these are your bearings, the northern and the eastern. This is the eastern and this is the northern. You will need at least one of those bearings to be able to plot with your distance and bearings. You need one coordinate to be able to plot. But when you're plotting with just coordinates, you need the whole coordinate. Most times in such lands where there are 4 points, you need the 4 coordinates of those points to be able to plot. Now, how do we go about this? When you've set up your environment, you pick your line. You can be following me while watching the screen and seeing what I'm doing with the cursor. You pick your line. You come to the environment You can just click in any part of the environment. Now you enter the coordinates. Always note, you enter your eastern coordinate first. And after entering that eastern coordinate, you demarcate it with comma before entering the northern coordinate. Now, our eastern coordinate is 284.114.25, comma 540.851.32. Now, before I press my enter, I just want you to notice in my own system, my command line always minimizes. So that's why whenever you're typing, you can look at your command line to see what you're doing, to make sure you're entering the right numbers. Maybe there should not be any error. Then you press your enter key. Your enter key will take you to the spot where you're to plot. You can zoom in and zoom out to be comfortable enough to do what you want to do. Now, the first thing you need to know is when you're plotting, always know you go clockwise. Now, what's the first bearing? What's the first distance there? There are 4 distances. There. The first one is your 28.10, 10 to 8.10, 16.25, 28.10, 16.25. Okay. Now, when you're entering your distances, bearings, and minutes, there are some other things you enter alongside for the command to be successful. First, before entering any distance, you hold your shift key and the 2 key. That's to bring out the @ sign. You bring out the @ sign. Once you've brought out the @ sign, you can now put the distance of that line you want to impute. Now, our first distance there is 28.10. Now, to put the bearing, the first thing we'll do is to bring the less than sign. And how do you bring that down? You hold your shift key down and you press the comma key, which also carries the less than sign at the top. After doing that, you now put your degree, the bearing of that line, which is 52. Now, to put your degree sign, you press the D. Never forget, after putting in your bearing, you must press D to indicate the degree. Then the last is to put your minute, which is 05, which can also be 5 anyway. Then you put your minute sign. When you've done this, you can press your enter. It will now give you the command, your AutoCAD will take that command and bring the result of what you've commanded it to do. Now you replicate that again for the next line. The distance there is 16.25. So how do we go about it? You hold your shift key down and the 2 to bring out your @ sign. Now once you've brought out your @ sign, you can now impute the distance, which is 16.25. You hold your shift key down and the comma key to bring out your lesser than sign. After that, we put our bearing for that side, which is 142. D as an indication of degree. Then you impute the minute, which is 23. The minute sign, and you press your enter. That's just what you replicate for the whole side if you're plotting with bearing and distances, because most times why this comes up is most lands has already been surveyed. So since these lands has already been surveyed, some lands has already been surveyed, there may be there may be change of title. Change of title is all what is needed to be carried out. So when there's a change of title, let's say Mr. A buys the land from Mr. B. Mr. B will have to, because most people does that, you request for the survey plan of the land you're buying to know if the person you're buying for is the actual owner. At the same time, there must be a change of title where the ownership will be changed from Mr. B now to Mr. A. So when you collect that document, you tender it to your surveyor. After your surveyor must have carried out his survey on ground and confirms everything is as it is on the paper, all he just needs to do is to give the job to his cartographer to replot what has already been on the paper. So such land now doesn't need you to be doing everything from the beginning again, since the point has already been established. So that's what we are doing. So the third part now, you bring out your @ sign like we normally do. You type in your distance of that side, which is 28.10. You bring your less than sign out. You put the degree of that, the bearing of that side, which is 232 D05 minutes. Enter. Then you do same for the last distance, which is 16.25 lesser than 322 D23 minutes. Enter. Now the shape of the land has been formed. The next thing we do is to bring out the distances of each line close to that line. So how do we do this? You go follow my cursor up and search for your align tool. When you see your align tool, listen carefully so you don't make mistake, or possibly when you're drafting, you play this video alongside for direction. You click, and whenever I say click, you're left clicking. Now after clicking, come back into the environment and right click. The moment you right click, you notice your cursor have changed. Now it will change to a little box. Now go to the side of the line you want to bring out the distance and click that line. The distance, if you follow my setup, it will go this way. The distance will come out. The distance of that line will come out. Then you keep it to the proximity of how close it is to the line is your choice. Then you keep it. You repeat the same thing. Now, if you don't want to go back and pick that command again, in AutoCAD, you can just right click. Since it's the last command that you just imputed, you can just right click and you see repeat align. Whatever you're doing, if you right click, it will ask you if you want to repeat that very command you just did. So it will ask you to repeat align. So you can click it, right click again. It will now change to that box. You go to the next side of the line and do the same thing. You do it for the 4 sides. Now the distances of the land boundaries have already been brought out, the 4 distances. Now the distances are still attached to the line. which means it will be hard for us to take a copy of it, like to copy selection, to take a copy. Now, how do we break that? You can click all those lines, all those distances, come to the right side of your work environment. You see these two explode. You click it. When you click it, after that has been done, you notice when you click the line, the distances, it will not be attached to the line anymore. It has been demarcated, cut from the line, kind of. Then now, what the next thing we are going to do is to impute our bearing and bearing and minutes. Now, how I do it to save time, you can copy this. You see copy selection. Note, when you right click, if you want to copy, first of all, you click what you want to copy, you right click. Now there's a copy symbol here. This is not what we are using. What we are using is copy selection. You copy, you click in your environment, and it will follow your mouse to wherever you want to take it to. So in this situation, we place it just at the top of the line, the outer part of the line, because note, your distances are always inside the line boundaries, then your minute and bearing are outside. So when you copy it this way, for you to know in such situations, since this point has already been established, you can impute the distances like this. If what was in this place was wrong, while we were redrafting it, it will not close. It will not give us this. For the fact that after imputing what was here, it gave us this, that means this information is correct. So you can as well just double click and edit. To put your bearing 052. Now, to bring the degree sign out, you hold down your shift key and click 5 twice to bring your percentage, the percentage symbol. Make sure the percentage symbol shows twice. After showing twice, you press D. It will now change to degree sign. You press your spacebar key to give it a convenient space, and you impute your minute, which is 05. Then you press the minute symbol. That's all. Now for a confirmation, if for some people maybe you still want to reconfirm the minute and the bearing, after bringing it out like this, instead of you copying the one already here, you can click the line and come to this tool called list. You click it. When you click it, the bearing and distance, the bearing and your minutes will be displayed here. You can copy it. You copy it, you close the box. You come here. After backspacing, instead of writing what is here, you can just right click and click paste. What you copied will be displayed there. So now to bring out that degree sign, you backspace the D, repeat what we just did there, hold your shift key and bring out and press 5 twice to bring out the percentage symbol. Then you press your D. It will now give us that sign. You space it out to a comfortable size, the space. Then you click outside of that box and it will be just as you say. You repeat that all the side to get your bearings and minute. Two, 3, 2. You bring out your degree sign and your 05. You can still check for a confirmation. 32223. If you're good at cramming, you can still cram the numbers, close the box. 32223. Why this one is not advised for cramming is so you don't type in a wrong minute or a wrong bearing. Now for the road sign, always note, as a cartographer, wherever you're plotting a land, is not proper to plot a land that doesn't indicate, there's no indication of an access road, because is somewhat impossible to, even though there's no access road, they will show you this is a proposed road. This is where that has been allocated and mapped out for the road. Because you can't buy a land if you don't have access to it. It's very dangerous. Assuming you bought a land and all the sides of the land has been purchased by people, how will you now access the land? You may even have money and want to access your land, because such situations have come up a lot of times. You may even have a land and want to access that land, and the people beside you will not be willing to even when you want to buy, you'll be begging them to buy and as a part of their land so you can access yours, and they'll say no. You'll only be forced to sell. So whenever you're buying a land or you're drafting for someone, always ask them where the access road is located. They'll always show you. Then as a site man, they'll always take the distance of the road. Then to impute the distance now, let's assume the road distance is 6 meters. To indicate that in our plotting, you come to the right side of your environment and look for your align tool. For the offset tool. You click it. After clicking it, you impute that distance now that was in the information given to you. Let's say it's 6. Then you click enter. The cursor will now change to a box. You click the side of the land that, mind you, some roads have some offsets to the land, while some are just shares boundary with the land. So all those information is what you work with, the information that was given to you. Now we are working with this information. So after you've clicked your 6 and entered with the offset tool, you click that side of the land, you click it, then come outside and click it. You just offset 6 meters from that side. Then of course the length of the road always goes both sides. Some are close, but since the length of the road is not, the road is not always serving the land. So then to indicate that, you click, for me, just copy this line, keep it this way. So while we are extending this road, it will give us a nice look. Just like that. Just like that. Now you can copy the distance here as well. Place it somewhere here. Double click it, backspace, and write the information needed in that area, which is access road. This is an indication of the road. Now, some plans, when you look at them, the roads are straight. The line used are straight. While some, like here, the lines are broken. When the line is broken, it's an indication that that road has not been tarred. While if the lines are straight, it's an indication that that road has been tarred. Take note of that. Now, this is the primary knowledge you need to know about drafting. If you can do this, you have done 80% of the plotting. If you can do this. The other informations I'm going to teach after I must have taught you how to plot with coordinates as well. What I mean other informations is how to prepare your frame. How to prepare your frame, how to align your job, And this is quite different in different locations. But I'll teach you based on the one you're seeing, the general knowledge. Now, this is how you plot with distance and bearing. This is plotting. This can be prepared. What they do is you can prepare a frame as for the surveyor you're plotting for and keep. So whenever you plot a job, all you need is to pick this frame and now place with the job. Then input all the necessary information, of course, because it's needed. The name of the buyer, the location of the land, the local government, the state, the area of the land. Okay, now I need to teach you in this class how to check area. Now, how do we check the area of this land? To check the area of this land, you come up and you see a tool, area. You click it. After clicking it, now all you need to do is to click the 4 points. Sometimes there are more than 4 points. Of course, this will not be the only class for plotting, because this is the most simplest, because a four corner land. There are lands that has more than 10 points. So we'll still do classes to cover such. All you do is to click the 4 points of that land. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you right click. After right clicking, check your command line. You see the area displayed there. If you notice, the area is giving us now is the same area that is in this land. Note that this is all you need for your plotting. And please, if this class is educative enough for you and directive, subscribe, like, ask questions at the comment section. That will motivate us to do more. Thank you very much, and see you at the next class.